So I've just been tacking these plates together, and these are the plates that we're going to use to make the crank press fixture. And the reason why I've been tacking them together is because we're going to bore the 3 holes that I mentioned in my last video straight through these plates in one operation, and that will ensure that all the holes are in line and everything's nice and accurate. So the next job is just to get some layout fluid on, just in the areas where I'm going to drill jig holes for mounting it to the cross slide. So let me just do that, and we'll go and have a look at the lathe once I've done that. I'll just get the marker fluid, and no doubt I'll get it all over me because I always do. I'll just get a little bit of this onto the plate. So there's just going to be 4 jig holes, as I've said. Just put a little bit there, and a little bit over here. Right. Okay. So just let that dry. And whilst that's drying, we'll go and have a look at the lathe. So I've got you zoomed into the setup now, and this is the milling attachment that comes with the lathe. I've probably been using this to the absolute extent of its capacity. No doubt it was designed for sort of slightly smaller or less demanding applications, maybe making model steam engines and that kind of thing. But that's the 3/4 reamer that I've got actually fitted at the moment. And that follows, I've been using step drills, blacksmith's drills as they're called over here. There we go. You can see there the step. And I've used these drills, I've got a set of them. I've used them to take the hole out to 18.5 millimeters, which is the size for the 3/4 reamer. And it was kind of struggling a little bit towards the upper end of those sizes. I've given it a little sort of test with the reamer fitted for a few millimeters, and it seems to be running okay. But I have to say, with the 18.5 millimeter drill bit fitted, it was struggling a little bit, even on the slowest speed. So yeah, kind of I'm getting the most out of this machine really that I could probably get. And then talking about the setup, as you can see, I've spot welded or tack welded the plates together so that I could get everything done at the same setting, and I've bolted it down to the cross slide using a clamp kit. This clamp kit actually isn't really the ideal size for this machine, but it's the nearest I could get. I probably need to make some T-nuts at some point. It hasn't moved, but it's not the most ideal setup. I've been very careful that nothing moves and that it doesn't tear out and damage my cross slide table. And then it's jacked up off the table with these bearing races. Bearing races make really useful parallels in the home shop. If you work in an industry where you can, with permission obviously, raid through the scrap bin and get things like this, it's always worth fishing them out and keeping them because they come in really handy. These are actually, because I work in the aircraft industry, these are undercarriage bearing races, and the aircraft that they came off, I'll give you a clue and you can go away and find out. The world's first jet airliner, well, the aircraft that they came out of was derived from the world's first jet airliner, so you can go and find out what that is. But as I say, they're very useful. I've got all manner of bearing races that I use for packing things up and using as parallels. Very handy. So I'm stopped waffling now, and we'll put the reamer through and see how we get on with it. Just put plenty of lube on. See how we get on. And this is taking it out to 750 thou, which hopefully should be a nice sliding fit on the crank journals. I've measured them and they're about 748, 749. Well, let's see how it handles the reamer. Let's go nice and steady. This is as slow as I can get the machine to run. It's 350 RPM, and it really needs to be half that, but we're limited by what the machine can deliver. It seems to be doing alright. So far so good. I can see it shoving swarf out down the bottom there. I'll be very careful obviously with the drilling and reaming operations. Not to be clumsy and go all the way through and hit the table. This table survived almost 50 years without any marks on it. The last thing it needs is for me to start putting marks in it now. Just give it another squirt of the somebody messaging me. Squirt of the magic juice. Just trying to keep flooding it. Well, we're through. Right. Switch off the machine. Well, I'm going to go on to handheld and just let you have a look at, excuse the wobbly camera action, let you have a look at the surface finish. It's not perfect. Oh, where is it? There it is. The camera makes it look a lot worse than it is. It isn't perfect. It doesn't feel terrible. It actually feels pretty good. Oops, sorry. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we're at 750 thou, or we should be. I'm not going to take it off the machine to test it just yet, because I've got two other holes to put in, which is the holes for the upright bars, the columns, which will guide the upper part of the crank fixture down as we're pressing the crank together. So I'm going to put those in first before I take it apart and check anything. But so far so good. We have a 750 thou hole, which is what we were aiming for. Just put the camera back on the stand. There we go. Okay, so the next step will be drill and bore the holes for the uprights. So we'll have a look at doing that next. Right, I've just decided to go back on the handheld for a minute just to have a look at the actual finish that we achieved with the reamer, and I'm really happy with it actually. I've just deburred it, just broke the edge there so I can put my finger in without, let's try and get it to focus, without fear of losing a digit, and that's really nice actually. Yeah, I'm more than happy with that. Obviously it looks a little bit sort of scratchy on the camera, but it feels great. Yeah, more than happy with that. So let's move on to the bores for the upright columns. Right, well, it's a few days later and I'm back in the workshop. As you can see, I've drilled out one of the holes for the upright posts, the support posts. I'm just waiting for a 20mm reamer to arrive to finish off the holes. As you can see, I've gone 16mm all the way through, and then I've just taken it out to 19mm with the drills, just in the first plate, because the lower plate is going to locate the upright posts, and the upper plate will be sliding on the post, so it needs to be reamed out to full size. So once that reamer drops in, should be in a couple of days' time, it's in the post. I'll get that finished off and get the other hole in there, and then we can make the posts themselves turn a rebate or a register on one end so that it fits in the lower plate, and then just make sure we've got a good fit on the upper plates. So that's kind of the end of part one on the crank fixture. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Please excuse my amateurish filming. I'm still sort of learning how to do this video lark. My last video on the battery charger had what I would call stalling, or sort of it went to still, and I thought it was a problem with my camera, but it actually turns out it was a problem with the editing software that I'm using, and so I've junked that now. I've got a new type of editing software that I'm trying, so hopefully this video will be better. This is a view of the crank, the BSA 175 two-stroke crank. One of my viewers, Dale Sweger over in the USA, said that he'd never seen a BSA two-stroke crank before, so I just thought that I'd let you have a look at that. That's the fella that we're going to be rebuilding. As you can see, there's no extra holes in it or anything that you could put a bar through. Some of the Japanese cranks have extra holes in them, and you can slot another bar through and use it as a lining up tool while you're putting the crank together. No such luck with the BSA, hence why I'm making the alignment jig in the first place. Incidentally, if you are interested in two-stroke rebuilds, crank rebuilds in particular, and you like early Japanese dirt bikes, Dale's channel is really good. I want to say, my opinion, the best two-stroke crank rebuild videos on YouTube. They really are that good. So that's Dale Sweger, Sweger. Check him out. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Dale. I really apologize if I'm not. But yeah, really good videos. And also, if you're interested in BSA Bantams and you want to see it done right, check out Oz Bantams, and that is Tony Farmer over in Australia, and he really is your man for Bantams. People in the Bantam world will know him as Bones. He has his own website where he manufactures and sells Bantam parts, and yeah, he's got a YouTube channel now, and it's really worth checking out. So thanks very much for watching. Looking forward to doing part 2, and hopefully see you on the next one. Thank you.